What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Empire YouTube channel. Today we are taking a look at Lugia VSTAR. Now, Lugia VSTAR is an amazing deck. It has very good synergy within the meta, from being able to mill cards to hitting for weakness to just being able to hit high damage and take one-shots while accelerating all energy. If you don't know what Lugia VSTAR does, it has the ability Summoning Star. During your turn, you can put 2 colorless Pokemon that don't have a rule box from your discard pile onto the bench, and with that, you put the Archeops into play. Normally, this is a stage 2, but with Lugia's ability, you have the access to just slapping this on the board and using Primal Turbo to accelerate energy. With that, we're playing unique attackers like Tyranitar V with the Cragalanche in order to do 60 damage and mill, or hitting 240 and discarding the top 4 of your deck. Now, to power up those attacks, we do have 4 single strike energy, provides 20 extra damage, and from there we also have things like gift energy in case we get Ionoed. We have an ability to put our hand back to 7, and then we also have the Cobalion. Now, Cobalion with Justified Law, you're not using it for its attack, it's just for the ability. This gives you the access and ability to one-shot Charizard EX. Charizard EX does have 330 HP, and the most that your Tyranitar can max out at with the 240 attack is 320 with having 4 strong energy attached, or I'm sorry, single strike energy. So this means that you can attach 3, be at 300 damage, and then the Cobalion makes it to where you hit 330 and can take a knockout. As always, I'll post the deck list right here just so you guys can see the full deck list. And do me a favor, if you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure you do me 3 things. Smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications. I do also want to give you guys a quick thank you just for being so understanding with my father's passing this past Friday. It has been something that is new and something to adjust with, and you guys have been more than fulfilling when it comes to understanding the situation and why there was no uploads this past week. But again, thank you for watching. There's 3 gameplays today. If you guys do enjoy them, again, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the gameplay. See ya. Alrighty, this is the first game against Lugia. We're gonna see exactly what we can do. Not against Lugia, we're playing Lugia. We're going to see exactly what we can do. Our opponent calls the coin flip. They do choose heads. It is tails, so we do get to go first. So hopefully our start is relevant enough to what we want to do. Looking at this start, this is not anything near what we want. Now, we are playing against something with Bidoof. Sadly, though, our hand is abysmal. With the sake of it, we're just gonna have to pass. So there's an Irida, so it seems as though we're playing against backs, which isn't too bad. We're gonna be trading one-shots for one-shots, so if our opponent only gets 1 Frigibax down, if we do get DTE, we do have the potential to one-shot a Frigibax. Again, it comes down to what they choose to play. So there's the water energy going. They're going to attach, retreat, use that Shivery Chill in order to search 2 energy, and then search with concealed cards, draw 2 cards, and then hopefully they don't put another Frigibax in play. That's really the only thing that we can hope for right now, is we have to hope that the Frigibax stays in play. There's a Hisuian Heavy Ball. And then if we hit DTE, we have the ability to KO the Frigibax. Now, I don't think that that's going to happen. So there's the Arceus as well as another Frigibax. So our start is not looking great at all. But what we can do is we can actually use Collapse Stadium to deny them one of their Pokemon. So they choose to get rid of Frigibax, which is interesting. If I had a DTE, I would definitely go for it. We're just going to research here, see what we can get. So we do get Mezagoza as well as Capturing Aroma. We do have the ability to attack, which is good. We'll use that Capturing Aroma. We do hit Tails, thankfully. With that capturing aroma, we can grab the Lugia. We can bench Lugia, attach the double turbo, and just hit for 60, but we get to mill 2 cards. And we get rid of a Pokestop as well as an Irida, so that means our opponent is down 2 Iridas, which is better for us. And considering our opponent's board state, with only having 1 Frigibax out, if we have the chance to kind of go for the knockout next turn, we should be okay. So there's a Pokestop, so our opponent probably will go for the Pokestop. There's the Ultra Ball. Gonna grab the... I would assume that they're gonna grab the Arceus V-Star. So looking at our hand next turn, we really need to find a way to get rid of some Arceus, or some, we need to find a way to get rid of quite a bit of cards, actually. We need to find a way to get rid of 2 Archeops. That way we can power up and go from there. But our opponent does need to get 4 energy, so depending on what they have in hand, might be a little bit tricky for them. Thankfully though, with having that 60 damage, we are able to use Lugia's attack with a DTE on it. So there's the rare candy for the Baxcalibur. There's an Irida, so that's 3 Irida down, as well as an Iono. So our opponent should have 1 Irida left and 1 boss, assuming that they're playing Caleb's list from top 16 of Worlds. So there's the second Chimpao. And our opponent needs 4 energy. And again, if they have the 4 energy, it is going to be a little bit unfortunate, but it's nothing that's too terrible. We can take the knockout with Lugia, and then if they take the knockout on Lugia, we can boss up the Baxcalibur and go from there, because if our opponent doesn't have a way to set up another Baxcalibur, we actually put ourselves in a super solid position. So get the 4 energy back. Attaching the 4 now. There's 5 energy in play. They're going to be able to use Hailblade. And then off of this, I think I'm going to have to risk it and use the Pokestop. And then from there, try and figure out exactly what we are going to do. So we do get Radiant Serena. Radiant Serena is not going to be the best thing that we can use, but something we're going to have to kind of go for anyways. I'm going to risk it and use the Pokestop. So we do get Ultra Ball, and we do get rid of an Archeops, which is actually fantastic. Which means now I can use the Mezagoza. The Mezagoza does flip heads, which means we can grab another one of those Archeops. And we're going to be able to Ultra Ball, get rid of the Archeops and the Radiant Serena. The Radiant Serena, we could actually grab, let's see. We haven't played a supporter yet. We could actually boss the Baxcalibur and set my opponent back a lot, which I actually don't hate. And we do have 1 boss left. I think that'll be a huge turning point in the game. I think that's what we'll go for. So we'll use the Summoning Star ability. Go Archeops. And then we'll go Luminion. Luminion will let us grab the boss's orders. And just like that, we have found a way to turn this game around. So we can use the Primal Turbo. Now with Primal Turbo, we'll grab the Gift Energy as well as V-Guard. And I'm going to attach 4 normal energy. I'm not going to use the DTE just because if they do bring up Chinpao, I want to be able to KO it. So we'll grab the Gift Energy and then Jet Energy. So we can attach those. And then we can actually get rid of the Mezagoza. That way they do not have a chance to potentially search off of it. And we do have another one in hand, which means for us, we can potentially search out the Tyranitar and go from there. Our opponent's best bet, so that way we don't take a prize, would be to kind of sack off the Arceus, which it seems like that's what they are going to do. So there's the Canceling Cologne. It seems that they're just trying to kind of thin some cards in their hand. They are down 2 Frigibacks, so if they don't have a way to get another, we will be okay. Unfortunately, we did have to get rid of 3 of our boss's orders just to stay in the game, so we are in a bit of an awkward spot. We're not going to be able to really do much from there, but considering the fact that we do have the Archeops out, we can potentially set up our board state. And we do have Iono as well, which can actually set our opponent back quite a bit. So we do have Nest Ball as well. I'm gonna put the Nest Ball out just so that way I can actually not have to. With the Nest Ball, it means I don't have to put Mezagoza out, which means if I Iono, then I don't have to worry so much about other things. I'm going to set up this Tyranitar now, that way it can get the knockout, so we'll grab 1 and 1. So, put these on here, so that is hitting 280. We'll just do this last search real quick. So we are doing a bit of extra damage, unfortunately, but it's nothing that's too terrible. We'll use the Iono just to get rid of my opponent's hand, take a knockout, and then kind of go from there, see exactly what we can do. So we will get rid of the gift and the V-Guard. Yeah. And then from here, we'll be able to hit for 300 damage, taking the knockout, not discarding anything that's too relevant. Hopefully finding some urns. Unfortunately, we don't find any of the urns, but we might. Let's see. I don't think we have enough energy. This is tough. There's the barrel. My opponent has to hope that they can find their last Irida. I believe they only have 1 left. Yeah, they have 1 Irida left. They can shuffle back a Baxcalibur. They're down. They still have access to 3 rare candies. Let's see, 3 rare candies. They've used all of their Ultra Balls. So they have to hope that they can find the rare candy backs as well as all of the energy. There's 5 energy, so they need to find access to a lot more. There's the Hailblade for 1 energy. Concealed cards. There's another Frigibax. There's the rare candy. Do they have the 4 energy to KO though? That's the question. Unfortunately, we don't have access to any more of our energy, so we can only hit 200 with Lugia, but our opponent doesn't know that, so. And Cobalion, it does only apply to dark types as well as our basics. So it seems as though our opponent couldn't really set up, and so it showcased that being able to get that KO on the 1 of Baxcalibur really bought us a turn. So that was game 1. Let's get right into game 2. Alrighty guys, let's get right into this second game, see exactly what we can do with Lugia. We do win the coin flip, which means we are able to go first, hopefully having a decent hand. Maybe get rid of a couple Archeops, or at least 1. And looking at this hand is pretty good. We have the ability to capturing Aroma, hopefully hitting 2 heads in order to search, get an Archeops, go from there. Then we can actually start setting up. Now hopefully my opponent isn't playing something like Miraidon, because if they are playing Miraidon, we are in a bit of a tricky situation. But we'll see as soon as it's flipped over. So they are playing Palkia, so we don't have to worry about getting Palkia turn 1. Honestly, considering our hand, I think I'm just going to pass in order to kind of set up for the next turn. Give ourselves access to research. getting that Palkia out of here, taking 2 prizes early on, and going from there. I also apologize if I do sound a bit weird. I do have a bit of a cold, bit of a small sniffle, but definitely nothing that's too crazy to where I can't record. And if you guys have made it this far, I do want to thank you sincerely for everything that you guys have done to kind of help me through this adjustment with the event that happened this past Friday. For those of you that don't know, my father passed away, so I took a week off of uploading in order to deal with that. So the support that you guys have shown on the videos that have been on the channel has been outstanding, and I appreciate you guys endlessly. So with that being said, our opponent does pass, and we do get access to Mezagoza, which means that we have access to finding 3 of the cards that we need. So there's the first heads. We will grab the Lugia VSTAR. Simply put, because if we do hit tails, we can grab Burnett off of this capturing aroma. So with that being said, we do actually hit another heads, which is exactly what we wanted. So with that, we can grab the other Archeops. We can use the Mezagoza. Can we go 3 for 3? That's the question. Can we do it? And we don't hit 3 for 3, but it's not too bad. We do have access to research, which means we can power up this Lugia. So with that being said, I will bench the other Tyranitar, and we will use that Summoning Star ability. We'll grab the 2 Archeops and just start going in. I'm not going to attach a DTE just yet because I want to be able to deal as much damage as possible in order to kind of take the KO here, give us a momentum swing. So we will go for that V-Guard and Gift, and then the second one will be a Gift Energy, and we'll grab a Jet just so that way it gives us access to Gift, Jet, and everything else that we may need for this Tyranitar. And from here, honestly, there's no point in benching the Lugia just yet. I feel comfortable right now just hitting the 220, taking the knockout, and we won't discard the Mezagoza just because it does give us access to potentially finding some more cards next turn, potentially finding a boss in order to KO a Palkia VSTAR potentially. Now if our opponent does KO our Palkia or our Tyranitar here, it will be a little bit awkward, but we will figure it out. So our opponent has the Quaking Zone Seismitoad. As long as this Pokemon's in your active spot, attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon cost 1 colorless more. So it is a bit interesting. And our opponent concedes, so it seems as though our setup was pristine in what we wanted to do. That was a quick game. Let's try and get it in for a game 3. Alright everyone, and for the first time in a long time, we are actually in a game number 3 for this channel. We're going to see exactly what our opponent can do against us in playing Lugia. And for the first time in today's video, we do not have the option to go first. Our opponent is going to go first, which can set us back a little bit. Again, it depends really on what they're playing. But looking at this start, this is a horrendous start. It's good, but it's bad at the same time. And our opponent is playing Miraidon, so we have to be extra cautious because we are going to have to deal with weakness. And from there, it's going to be super awkward. So our opponent attaches a Bravery Charm and just passes. So we do actually have access to potentially setting up a decent turn here. We do hit tails on the Capturing Aroma, which is actually something that I did want to do. We can grab the Lugia. We're going to use the Burnett, and we're going to get rid of the Archeops. And we do have access to Ultra Ball next turn. And I think, honestly, what we're going to do is see if we can go for the donk on the Mareep. See if we can set up. If my opponent has something like Escape Rope, we are going to be in a very awkward spot. We're going to be a turn behind. So it really comes down to it. My opponent does discard Path to the Peak. There's the Raikou. They have access to Escape rope, we're gonna be in a sad spot. There's the electric generator. Now my opponent does have to attach as well as fill up the bench if he wants to take the KO. So that is something to keep in mind. So there's the Flaffy. So considering they retreated, I don't think that there is anything that's really going to happen this turn for us. We should be in a solid spot. And thankfully, with Raikou having the 200 HP, it means that we are able to take a knockout with having the DTE on Lugia. So, with this being said, I think the best thing that we do is we will Ultra Ball, getting rid of the Lumineon just so we don't have a clunked hand and our opponent concedes. Honestly, guys, I think that really showcases the aspects of what Lugia can do. I don't think that there's really any more gameplay I can get. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Otherwise, I will catch you guys in tomorrow's video.